and then I started my career as a support engineer. So initially I started with around 3.5 package. We as ETL tester, we write test cases to test those algorithms. Because of my financial conditions, like my father was okay to take a loan. 15 to 20 companies gave offer letter. I didn't do anything good. Okay. The first semester itself I got 2 bags. So it was really the level of technical knowledge and skills that I demonstrated in the interview was the one that actually covered my past experience.
Hello data lovers, I hope you all are doing super amazing, and today's podcast is also going to be super informative and full of motivation plus inspiration, because for the very first time I am going to cover a different job profile in big data, that is big data tester. And our guest speaker also had a very challenging professional journey where he passed out from a tier 3 college, and after that he started working on a support job role with minimal salary of 3.5 lakhs per annum, and now he has moved into the big data testing profile, also cracked more than 15 plus job offers with super amazing mind-blowing salary. So today he will motivate you all today to move from such kind of support role to these kind of amazing big data profiles, what big data testers actually do, what is the significance of this job profile, how did he acquire the right skill sets even after coming from the support kind of job role to crack this big data job profile, how did he prepare, the resources, the interview preparation, the kind of challenges he faced in this transition, the kind of mistakes he made, and also he will be giving the insights about the salary based on his recent interview experiences. So stay there for next 30 minutes and listen to this amazing experience. Also, there is a very big surprise from my side as well. After receiving the amazing response on my first ever course, which was Job Guaranteed Big Data Bootcamp, finally we are launching the batch 2 for our Job Guaranteed Big Data Bootcamp, and it will be starting from 5th of November 2022. Job Guaranteed Big Data 2.0, which is especially designed for all aspiring data engineers. Find this link in the description. So irrespective of your background, fresher or non-CS, non-IT or any kind of non-tech job profile, or even if you are working professional who want to move into this data engineering space, then this is the course for you, because we are going to cover each and everything in depth with practical experience, and nothing is going to be a recorded lecture here. Everything will be taught in the live classes every weekend. You can see the long list of these important frameworks including Hadoop, Hive, MapReduce, MySQL, SQL, transactional databases, multiple NoSQL databases, Spark, Confluent, Kafka, Python programming, Pandas, Airflow will be there. We will be studying about the cloud platforms as well, AWS, GCP, Azure. We will be creating data pipelines there as well. Also dashboarding tools, batch data pipelining, real data pipelining. Most important, the live class part every Saturday, Sunday. After that, we will be taking 2 hours of doubt session live on that class itself. More than 20 plus hands-on industry level real world projects. Anytime you can get a paid internship in iNeuron as well, one-to-one personalized mentorship, and even after the classes, one-to-one live doubt supports will be there. And the most important part is the job guarantee, and we will be setting up that whole environment for you where you can focus on your mock interviews, your resume, the whole preparation, and also then giving the interviews and cracking the jobs. So full on placement support for you in this course. That is why it is a job guaranteed program. And in order to kill the system dependencies for our students so that they can practice each and everything in a real-time environment, just before starting the batch 2, our complete amazing lab environment will be there. You can see the kind of frameworks we are integrating: Scoop, Spark, Hadoop, Cassandra, Hive, and this list is still progressing. There will be multiple language support and many more cool things which are about to come. This code Shashank30 event to evil amazing 30% discount. So hurry up and enroll yourself right now. Alright, so thank you so much, Krishna, for joining me in this podcast, and honestly I'm very much excited for this one. The story you have, I'm pretty sure that is gonna help and that is gonna motivate a lot of aspiring data professionals. But it would be really great if you can give a short introduction about yourself, your past academic and professional background.
So basically, I have done my schooling in Army Public School and Kendriya Vidyalaya. So since my father was in Army, and then I studied in a tier 3 college in Bangalore, engineering. I did my engineering and I passed out in 2017. And then I started my career as a support engineer mostly. So basically, the offer letter said it was programmer, system analyst kind of thing, but then started as technical support engineer. So it was like that, and then eventually last year I moved on to ETL testing, and then I moved on to big data testing, and now I am continuing with big data testing.
How was your engineering life, right, in the college, and how did you land your first corporate job, right? Because as you mentioned, you started in a tier 3 college in Bangalore and then somehow landed in a job where it was a program analyst, but you were deceived and started as a support engineer. So just share overall that journey.
So it is not a very comfortable journey that I went through. So basically, initially when I was in 11th 12th standard, I was not sure what is IIT NIT. Since any middle class family will eventually go through that, I mean, they will not have such exposure to all those details. So when I came into 12th standard, since I was a sportsman, I was more inclined to sports and never focused in studies. But 10th standard, I got a very good percentage, saying that around 95%. But then 11th, my focus was towards sports, so it declined to less than 60%. And then 12th standard, it was moderately the same. And then eventually I gave many exams. I mean, at the end of the 12th, I gave a lot of exams. So I could crack colleges like SRM, VIT, and KIIT, Bhubaneswar, then IIIT Bhubaneswar. I did crack that, but because of my financial conditions, like my father was, he was okay to take a loan and, somehow get me into a very good college and get a good education. But still, I was not comfortable for him taking that burden and then giving me that kind of, atmosphere where I grow, but then he has the burden. So because of that, I decided that let me continue my studies in Bangalore, where I didn't get my very good rank. So I got a moderately good college. The name of the college was very nice, very attractive. But then, when I went on there, practically it was not so very, interesting or attractive for any aspirant who would eventually want to study in a good college. And it was really tough. And I would say there were basically it was the condition of the college was so bad that there were I was from computer science background, and so in a computer science background, obviously everybody is looking forward with a very colorful atmosphere, and a lot of boys and girls, lot of get-togethers, and then fest, colorful parties, all those things, freshers day, then farewell day, then many colorful things people aspire to take part in. But where I studied there, the total students of computer science in the first batch, basically the batch which I joined in 2013, so there were only 4 students in my class. So that was very disheartening, saying that I aspire for such big colleges and somehow at the end I could crack it, but still I didn't go there. And I joined a college where I am seeing a condition like this. And then on top of that, if you take the whole college, inclusive of all the branches and inclusive of all the years, inclusive of the year back students, the total strength would come out to be less than 150, where people are aspiring to be 3,000, 4,000 students and a lot of colorful parties and stuff. So that was the thing, and it was around 40-50 kilometers from my house. So that itself was very tiring and demotivating, where a student is such ambitious but still goes into such a college, and then it was disheartening that I never wanted to continue engineering. At least first year went just like that, being sad, in that depressed mode. I was morose and I didn't do anything good. The first semester itself I got 2 bags. So it was really very tough. And somehow then it went on. Then I started motivating myself, inspiring myself, and then but teachers were supportive there. Obviously they were not good teachers. Obviously if the college condition is bad, teachers cannot be very highly professional. So they were good, but they were very supportive is what I would say. And because of their support, at the end of 4th year I started preparing for interviews and companies. Then I started giving off campus. Obviously in that scenario you cannot have a campus selection. So then I started off campus and then gave multiple interviews. Maybe I could say 8th semester was, I didn't go to college, but I somehow only gave interviews traveling in whole of Bangalore by bus, auto, walk or whatever. So in that scenario, then I could crack some companies, like two, three companies offer I could get. And the first company who gave was like Itron India Private Limited, who gave me the first offer, where it was programmers. And it was attractive thing. Yes, coming from that college, becoming a programmer, very nice. I was appreciating myself. But then when I joined and started working, literally I used to take calls. I would say, thank you for calling, I don't like that.
Okay.
So I was literally into support. Then after 1 or 2 years, then I started email support. But then I was like, trapped in that capsule where you get into that routine of just going to office, and it was night shift. So I wasn't able to come out of that. Then in this corona period, then somehow I got enlightened and took a call of saying that let me take a chance and start. So that's how it started. Then I started, then gave so many interviews, joined the institute where I took some knowledge about ETL testing, data warehouse testing. Then I started. Obviously there was guidance was there, but then a lot of hard work, because in this corona period, I would say 6 months I dedicatedly worked very, very hard. I would say I used to hardly sleep for 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
No, day and night SQL. Only SQL used to be there. Then my work timings were there. Like I used to work from 5 in the evening to morning 2, or sometimes 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. So that was the timing where I used to work for US clients. So after completing my work, then I used to open SQL, Oracle SQL, and then practice SQL. So those phase was really tough. I mean, only some people who are very close to me, and they know and they could relate.
This is really motivating, I would say, and people should definitely learn from your hustle and few decisions you took for yourself just because of the family conditions and the financial condition. I think most of us, at least in India, I can definitely say that like lots of students pass through that journey where they just they couldn't pursue their dreams just because of these conditions. So anybody who can relate with this story or this kind of hustle, feel free to share your expressions in the comment section. Right, initially you started as a technical support engineer, where you said like you were taking just calls, thanks for calling here and all these things. So after that, like how like this thought came to become an ETL tester or to pursue your career in the big data as a ETL tester? And most important thing, I want to know the how did it happen, and as well as the major challenges you faced during this transition, because that is also something most of people would really interested to know, like how to move from the support kind of role to the big data. And it would be really great if you can mention your initial salaries, right? What all compensation you were getting in your beginning.
So basically it was 4 years down the line when I started in 2017 as a support engineer in Itron, and then 4 years down the line I didn't do much. Then in this corona period I went through a lot of challenges, and it's a very depressing moments. So that actually killed my mind, saying that I had dreams of becoming something like but what am I doing? So I am trapped here. So then it was I would say God's blessings and my parents' support that I could take a call saying that yes, let me start. Then I started learning. Then I was very doubtful about what should I do. Should I do Python? Should I do data science, or what should I do? I was really a dilemma at that point in time what to do. But then So I thought, okay, let me try. One of my friend did a software testing course, so let me try ETL testing course. So then I started that course, and then I continued there. Then I mean, it's hardly any money, and so I was data science was cost around 25-30,000. Then that course was for 15,000. So why not? Let's give a try and let's do it. And then since I was already doing SQL in my support job also, somewhere SQL I was doing. So then when I practiced that and learned the concepts, then it was I was able to connect. So then I started in that journey, and it took 2-3 months to complete the course, and then started practicing day and night. And then I started giving interviews. So eventually, yes, interviews were tough, saying that how can a support engineer come to ETL testing. So but the level of technical knowledge and skills that I demonstrated in the interview was the one that actually covered my past experience. So there is where I would advise everyone to be technically very strong. So I at least in the testing you don't need a lot of coding, but SQL is must. You have to learn SQL. And coming on to my compensation part, so initially I started with around 3.5 package, where maybe 28-29,000 used to come in my account in 2017. Then by the time with all the appraisals and everything, it came up to 7.5 lakhs per annum. By the time of fourth year, last year basically. And then when I started giving interviews, so eventually I started with the first offer letter was for 12.5, and then 14, 15, 16, 18, 20, 25, then I came up to 35. And finally
awesome.
So that was around 15 to 20 companies gave offer letter. I mean, I would say around 10 is what I got offer letter, and maybe 5 to 10 I would have told don't give offer because they are not ready to give that level of compensation. So I would say all the top companies like 𝗖𝗗𝗃, Infosys, TCS, Mphasis, Amdocs, L&T, Cognizant, Capgemini, these all companies were there, and some of the small companies like Insedo and these companies were there.
Definitely like that part where you mentioned that your skills actually overshadowed your past experience in the technical support engineering. So these are the best points or the key takeaways from this question itself. So make sure you also follow this path. We know about data engineers, we know about data scientists, analysts, and we are aware that what they are doing on their day-to-day basis, right? But now the question is, since you belong to the ETL testing profile, so what is the typical role and responsibilities of a ETL tester, and what they actually do in their day-to-day activities?
So basically, since you have very nicely explained in your channel saying that about data engineer, data science, I've seen a lot of videos of yours. So basically, those who are watching, if you don't know, please watch his videos. It's amazing. He has explained this nicely. So what these data engineers, these ETL developers, I mean, if they have a tool, then they might be developing some pipeline where data flows from source to target or staging or many layers that might be. So what these data engineers, if it is big data testing, they might write algorithms to transform the data. So that way, whatever these algorithms, these pipelines that they are designing, we as ETL tester, we write test cases to test those algorithms or to test those pipelines and the data also. The data validation, obviously the data comes from source to target. Obviously you cannot just say data engineer, very nice, you did we are happy. So we cannot just go with that. So I need tester. So obviously if it is a data or a product, so obviously a tester is required. So there is where my role comes in, where I validate the data and the data has come accurately. And obviously in the process from source to target, it's not direct dump. So what happens is there is a transformations that is applied. Obviously in that target table in a data warehouse, you don't want all the data. You required clean data, you required aggregated data where business can take good decisions. So in that scenario, they have to transform the data. So now testing these data, writing the SQLs to compare the data, this is where designing test cases, then executing those test cases, taking part in all the different meetings, even having a good relationship with the developers also, because at times they might be doing something which you may learn, and at times you might be thinking. Obviously a tester thinks little differently than compared to a data engineer or a developer. So that way their thinking process when they meet and collaborate, so their the exchange of knowledge and skill set helps a lot. So and then taking part in these meetings, and these were mostly data tester and test engineer usually do ETL tester or big data tester.
I think I'll put up this question in front of the audience because I want to test their knowledge as well. How many of you know that even a testing profile exists in the big data world? Because most of have this perception this thing is actually required in the software development or product development, not eventually in the big data. So let me know in the comment section whether you were aware about these ETL testing profiles. Krishna, you have talked about the profile and what you actually do as a ETL tester. So why not to talk about the profile itself more if somebody gets interested to become a ETL tester, right? So what should be the step-by-step roadmap to move into this profile? And also it would be really great if you can share few important resources which you even followed while making that transition from technical support job to the ETL testing.
Yeah. So basically I have made a video of the roadmap from non-tech or tech to big data testing on my channel. But still I will explain here. So basically first of all, we have to understand that there will be a little amount of coding that is required. At least SQL would be required. So that is where we have to have a mindset saying that yes, SQL is required. So those who totally are out of coding or even they don't want to learn SQL, then they should stay away, or maybe at least give a try and then see if that matches your personality or not, and then move on to plan like learning about data warehouse concepts, then learning about SQLs, practicing SQL, and then learning about what is ETL testing. So I would say directly jumping into big data testing would be a little tough, which is what I feel. So then starting as a data warehouse tester or a ETL tester, and then moving on, then learning about ETL testing, how it works, the testing practices. Those are from non-IT or from test support roles. Those people, for them, they should learn about what testing practices are, how different methodologies like waterfall model, agile model. Those things they should learn, and operation side of it and what practice side of it, and then technical side of it also. Theoretical also they should understand what is data warehouse and how it works, and then how they have to perform their duty. So they should learn SQL and all, and then so if they understand data warehouse and then ETL testing practices, and then they know SQL, then all this combined, if they work, add it up to their profile, then obviously it is very easy for them to transition and get into this role which I am currently in.
You can also subscribe to Krishna's channel, and also you can talk to him over LinkedIn if you want to connect. Both of the links will be in the description, the LinkedIn profile link and the YouTube channel. Entry level freshers have to struggle a lot, right, to find the job opportunities, especially in the big data field. I have received a lot of queries where they have said that, sir, we are not getting job opportunities, everybody requires experience and all. Okay, so my question is, what's your best suggestion for them, how they can land into the big data related profiles easily or with less hurdles, something like that?
What I would suggest, if they are from not a very good college, like what I have gone through. So if they are not from very good college, I would suggest let them grab any technical opportunity that they get. Any technical opportunity. It can be technical support, or it can be testing, or whichever profile. First, let them get into that, understand how IT companies work, what are the different roles and what are the different responsibilities. So in that process, don't take much time like me, 4 years, that learn from my mistakes, and don't take so much time. Within few months you will get to know about it, and maybe from the 4th year itself, if you are interested in data engineering, please start studying. Please learn from Shashank. Please start studying, and start studying, keep practicing all the different setups where have a setup where you practice on daily basis. Keep that momentum, and as and when you complete your 4th year and get into any opportunity that you get, so those who are from good college, obviously they have a very good opportunity, they can get into good companies. But those who are from low colleges where they don't have much opportunity, I would say first grab any opportunity that you get and pursue this your goal. You want to become a data engineer or big data tester or whatever you have in your mind. So keep pursuing that. Maybe after 1 year you try. After 1 year of experience, take that experience and then start trying for that particular role. So in that scenario, but your skill set should be very high, saying that even if they are asking for 5 years of experience, your skill set should cross saying that they have 5 years, but I have 1 year of experience in IT, but my skill set and knowledge is much higher than them. So that will overpower their position. So in that, no, you should put the interviewer in dilemma saying that yes, he is much better, although the experience might be less. So if you keep that, so in that scenario, obviously they will select you and not anybody else, even if they are 10 years experience. I am sorry, with due respect to all the experienced people, but I would say try this method, but make sure the hard work is very important, and please have faith on God and always have blessings of your parents. Eventually you will be successful for sure.
So you have given so many interviews for the big data role. So with respect to the different experience levels you have seen, how much salary big data professionals are getting nowadays?
Mostly with my analysis and my experience, what I see is like the developers might be getting around, at least their experience into 2.5 to 3.
Okay.
The experience level into 3 is, I would say, with this market condition. Now market is little down, but still with this market condition, obviously they can expect at least 3x of their experience. And obviously if they get into a good profile, like or they get into data engineering or data testing, then from there upskilling themselves may get to 4x 5x, depends on that. And then eventually when they start growing, and then with experience, if they learn a lot of technologies, like cloud technologies, even in big data there are a lot of things, Spark, Impala, Pig, so many things are there. So if they start learning all these things and upskilling themselves, though it can be 5x 6x 10x and whatnot, there is no limit, I would say. But obviously, so as a fresher, so you have zero experience, so from there you can say 3 or 4 5. I would say 3 to 5 is the average standard now people are getting. So from there on, you can say as your experience increases, so 1 2 3, so it can be mostly 2.5 to 3x with your experience, and whatever you started plus the X number. And then after 3 years, I would say after 2 or 3 years, all your skills is what will matter a lot. Skills in the different technologies that you're learning. So obviously in IT you have to continue learning. So maybe 5 years you may become 15 20 25, then you keep continuing. There is no limit, I would say. But eventually as a fresher you may start with 4 5, and then eventually you may go 10 15, and after that is your skills and how you negotiate salary is will matter a lot.
So if you were able to travel back in the time and fix a mistake, then which one would you fix? It could be a tough question.
Very tough question.
Yeah, it could be a tough question because lots of mistakes, but any top 2 3 whatever it is, but it's a top one, so just figure that out and answer.
I have done a lot of mistakes, I would say, and I really appreciate that I have done so many mistakes, and the best part is I learned from it. So the topmost would be even after getting into support, when I knew that I wanted to do something which is not support, at least either a developer or a tester at least. So at that point in time I should have gathered a lot of knowledge to decide what I should be doing, and then taking quick action at that point in time, and seeking for guidance from anyone. It can be anyone, or even from internet. I had ample amount of internet resource, right? I could have capitalized that knowledge to enhance my skills, and I could have taken a call saying that at that point in time, like in the first year, second year, where I'm advising everyone to take that call, if I could have just done that, taking action at that point in time, a little hustle at that point in time would have changed a lot of things. But I don't deny whatever I am at present. I am happy with it. God has blessed me with a lot of things, so I am very happy. But this is one major mistake I would say I would have corrected. And
learning from mistake is something which should be our priority, else we will not grow. It could take 1 year, 2 year, 3 year to figure out your mistakes, but it's totally fine. As soon as you realize, just try to correct it. That's the best we can do as a human being. But great journey, Krishna, I would say. The phases you have seen in your life, and the way, right, you have achieved your current position, so it's definitely commendable, very motivating, right? The journey and the experience you have in the big data and the different job profile. So It was definitely a wholesome experience for me, and thank you so much, Krishna, from my side and from the entire audience side. That was a great experience, great journey, and your experience matters a lot. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having a podcast with me, and at least giving people insight of how they can also be successful at least in this path. And very happy to see all your YouTube videos, and even I'm learning data engineering, so mostly in coming future, maybe if I can become a data engineer, learning from you. Yeah,
so that's what I had for you guys in this amazing podcast. I hope you would have enjoyed every single thing, every single experience shared by Krishna. And if yes, you feel really amazing about this podcast, make sure to give a thumbs up. Share this podcast with the fellow friends who are working in the support role and want to move into the big data. This will be a confidence booster for them. And if you are new to the channel and want to bring more and more amazing such kind of podcast, feel free to share your opinion in the comment section. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button and press the notification icon. I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing podcast. Till then, just stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself, and explore the data.